Peace and power, family. Welcome back. Yes, it has been a minute. Okay, I took about 2 weeks off in order to move back home to North Carolina from Miami, and I am finally ready to continue this journey. And let me tell you, I almost let it go. Okay. Because I was like, dang, I've taken 2 weeks off. I'm not in the same energy. I'm not in the same momentum. I need to start over. And I always get like that with my projects. And I feel like that's a little hint of perfectionism trying to sneak in and be like, if you don't do it the right way, then you aren't really doing the thing. And I'm going to rebuke that energy by picking up where the hell I left off. Okay. Because it takes a lot of work to move through this artist way journey. Let me tell you, it takes a lot of mental work, it takes a lot of emotional work, and a lot of spiritual work to lean into that artist that you've been denying for so long. And I have been tapping into my artist a little bit more over the last 5 years, but it is still very hard to claim and name myself artist, which is crazy because that is literally what this chapter is about, recovering a sense of compassion. And it talked about mostly naming the things, right? Naming the things that are getting in your way, naming the things that you want to be, naming the things that you are experiencing, naming the things that you are feeling, because this is how you move through the creative process. So let's get into it. It started off first with saying to call your creative block what it is. It's fear. And it's okay to be scared, right? It's okay to be scared to fail. It's okay to be scared to succeed because then you have to keep producing, then you got to keep going, and then all your fears have gone away. And now what, right? Everything you thought was real ain't. So now things have changed up. So, and we know that failure is a norm for being scared about because we feel like we're going to lose our sense of belonging, or we're going to lose connection, or we're going to lose uh, status. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm more of a fear of success kind of person because I feel like if I do really, really good, then that means like I gotta stay at that level or get better. And that's just pressure that I'm really not trying to experience. So I know that what the block that I have is centered around a fear of success. And knowing this, being able to name this helps us move through the process better. And the next part of the chapter talked about our inner creative, you know, entity. And it being like a child, like literally, especially if you are just starting out, and like if you have ignored all of the creative things that you have been wanting to do since you were a child, then your creative entity, your creative inner being is literally a child that you have to raise and reparent. Okay, you have to nurture that creative child into a great creative artist. So it's gonna take work. It's gonna take gentle conversations. It's going to take reassurance. It's going to take practice. It's going to take so much to get this creative baby to be a full-blown creative adult out here creating whatever comes to its mind, out here putting out things that inspire and motivate others, out here naming truths and sharing just experiences, whatever your creative child want to do. If you want to actually see that all the way through, you're going to have to parent this little creative baby. Okay. And I thought that was a great way of thinking about it because we really are like little children in the game. When you are just starting out on your artist journey, why do you expect yourself to be amazing and great out the gate? Right? So many of us are born as newbies. Not many of us are born as geniuses. What do they call those? Prodigies. That ain't us. That ain't everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we all have creative bones in our body. Yes, we all have the ability to grow and become the thing that we imagine ourselves to be, but we don't just wake up that way one day. We have to work and we have to shape ourselves into that being. So I think that thinking of your artist as a child that you have to nurture, that you have to lean in and take care of on a daily basis is a great way to think about this process and this journey, right? Because after you parent a child for so long, then you let them go and be free and they go out there and do what they gotta do, right? If you raise them right. So I think that is a beautiful way to think about it. And the next thing that she talked about in this chapter around compassion was creative U-turns. And this was so funny because I'm like, I never thought about um like pivoting from creativity as like a creative U-turn, as in me running away or turning around and turning my back on my creativity. I always thought of it as like creating a safety net. So if I go and get this degree, if I go and get this job, if I go and do this thing, then I am creating a safety net for my creativity. I'm creating a backer, financial funding. I am doing the thing that is necessary to allow me to go out and be the creative that I imagine in the future. But in reality, honey, we are running away from the creative dream. We are procrastinating. We are racing towards it. So excited, and then making a U-turn away from the actual thing and moving into something that quote unquote feels more safe, feels like a better choice, a better idea. And I have a perfect example of this because one of my mentors in college told me to go and join Teach for America so that I could write a book about how Teach for America ain't what you need to be doing, especially as a person of color, right? And instead, once I realized and I had the evidence to write the book and do the thing, I went to law school. And law school has literally always been a dream of mine. So it's not like I literally deter off of my life goals. I wrote that plan in the third grade that I was going to go to law school and I was going to be a social worker. And then I was going to become a teacher. And then I was going to like be a writer because that's something that you do once you done did all the things, right? Honey, law school completely took me in a whole different direction. And then I became a community organizer, literally working on grassroots campaigns at a nonprofit for 4 years. I literally took a 7 year creative U-turn. And I'm not even mad at it because it has made me who I am today. It has given me so much insight. It's given me so much experience. But it was me running away from that task of completing the book about Teach for America. So I don't know. I feel like it's just like a liberating experience or like a liberating feeling to be able to name that, you know, I was running. I was in avoidance, and it's crazy because the pandemic forced me to sit down and literally write or put together my first collection of poetry and self-publish it myself and start blogging and start getting back into writing. And that was literally in the middle of me being in law school and getting a joint degree in community well-being. Like, baby, honey. And then when I graduated, I went immediately to work being a community organizer. Like I gave myself no time to write, to reflect, to feel, to be. I just ran right into something else. And it's funny because I know that I want to work with youth. So it really was in alignment with who I believe that I am and what I want to be doing with my life. But I also was not honoring all of me completely. And it was just so interesting to be listening to this chapter and to be thinking about the past 7 years of my life in Miami as a creative U-turn, child. So think about those times and think about what you're doing right now because that's the key. Are you doing right now the thing that you want to be doing creatively, or are you in the midst of a creative U-turn running from the goals that you want to achieve, running from the creative dreams that you have? Child, wrapping it up, okay, because I was read in that chapter. The last thing she talked about was unburying the resistance and naming the thing that's coming up that's blocking you from doing the thing. So again, thinking of our creative being as a child, sometimes we get frustrated, sometimes we get overwhelmed, sometimes we get scared, sometimes we get anxious, right? And our ability to name this helps us face it and get over it so that we can actually do the work that we need to do. For instance, if you are afraid of people talking about you, people judging you, people not liking your work, then you literally sitting down and naming, I want to create this thing, but I'm scared that people will not like it. I'm scared that somebody's going to talk about me and that I'm going to be hated and that people are going to use my experiences against me. And that is what is getting in the way of me blocking, or that is what is getting in the way of me creating the things that I want to create, right? Being able to name that and get it out and then reassure yourself like, hey, it really doesn't matter what motherfuckers think. Or in a nice, gentler way, because again, this is a child, this is a creative child now. You could be like, it's okay. The people who are supposed to read it are going to read it. You're not doing this for validation. You're doing this for expression. Like, I'm going to still care about you. I'm going to still love you. I'm going to still be here for you. The people that really love us are going to love us regardless. People who care about us are going to affirm our experiences and help us move past them and move through them with support. Like, you have to go through that practice of naming the thing and reassuring yourself that it's going to be okay. Okay. So I thought that this was amazing advice because I do this in my journal, right? So I write these things down, but I don't be liking to say the things out loud. I don't be liking to name it in real life, verbally, because I feel like it's speaking it into existence. But I really have to move past this and get into that real internal practice of reframe, right? It's one of my favorite practices, something that I've been practicing in my own life around mindset, but it's something that can be applied to every single thing that we do, and especially our creative mindset and how we talk to our creative selves. So I am excited to continue on this journey. I do not remember. Oh, I was about to say I do not remember the task, but I remember that the first task was to read my morning pages and analyze. So, child, when that check-in come, I'm gonna let y'all know what's been going on in my morning pages because I know it's a hot mess and I know I just be, dumping. So I'm very interested to see what it is. But I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for these new discoveries and I'm excited to see what I do with this new information. So stay tuned. See y'all next week.